Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Recipe for Adventure. I'm your host, Freeboots, and this is my dear friend, Sai. Sai, say hello.
No.
That was very blunt of you, and I feel hurt already. Um, what's the joke? I take psychic damage or something?
If you want, could you roll me a d4?
You know what? I will roll a d4. Ouch. Average human beings have what, 4 hit points? Most commoners?
Yeah, the commoner has 4 hit points.
Well, I'm almost dead. Thank you.
No problem. Anyway, hello everyone.
Sigh, you will be the death of me. Where did that joke come from originally? Take
You
psychic
will.
damage for
Ooh.
being mentally hurt and stuff like that, or having a really bad pun.
Um, I'm not sure. I do remember using it several times. In fact, I believe I even had. I was using that during one of our campaigns.
Yeah, and that was always a joke that we had, but
Yeah.
I swear to God,
Where where did it start? No
yeah,
idea.
yeah, where did it come from? Anyways, just had a little quick drink. Let's begin, like we usually do, with a question related to D&D. And the question is, Si, what is the one mechanic or character, NPC, story beat, or whatever, have you put into your games that you've shamelessly stole from a video game, book, movie, or other media bit?
Well, ignoring the craziness that I do on Wednesday,
Mm-hmm,
where
mm-hmm.
I've basically replicated the mechanics of an entire separate entity. One of my favorite things I did was actually during my Bandit campaign
Mm-hmm,
that I hosted that started my kind of homebrew world off.
mm-hmm.
Um, the plot technically is a shamelessly stolen. Oh, the the trick to the plot is a shamelessly stolen version of a plot I'd already done, which was a shamelessly stolen plot based off Terminator.
Wait, really?
Yes. So the shamelessly stolen plot point is like, yeah, I tweaked it to make it my own, but was basically a the future is screwed,
Uh-huh.
and something from the future has come back to the past to help ensure that the future it wants comes around.
Okay.
In my first iteration, I D&Dified it,
Mm-hmm.
and I twisted the caveat where the killer robots were actually on the good guy's side
So Terminator 2.
because, well, as in they went to the future, found killer robots,
Mm-hmm.
and assumed killer robots destroyed everything, only to find out that the killer robots were on the side of humanity
Oh.
because the things that actually destroyed humanity were mind flayers. And
Ew.
what doesn't have brains to eat? Robots.
Okay, okay.
Um, but it was basically a situation of like, hey, thing from the future having discovered a way to get back to the past, like the mind flayers sent back information and the mind flayer to basically help guarantee that the mind flayers took over the world.
Hmm.
And then I shamelessly redid that sort of plot line, but with a new twist um, in my Bandit campaign, where I'm like, okay, put aside the mind flayer stuff. I love mind flayers. I won't steal the exact same thing again.
Mm-mm.
But it was instead someone who accidentally traveled to the future,
Mm-hmm.
found out that in the future, devils basically took over the country,
Mm-hmm.
went back, and he has gone back in time to try and,
Stop that.
stop stop that from happening.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, but he was like, he's covered in like rusted armor, and so we have a metal man who's been to the future coming back to try and stop this devil future from coming about. And obviously, the information that, oh, there's a way to get to the past, and so the devils try to help. They send someone back in time in order to ensure that they can bring about their own victory.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
So yeah, I like Terminator a lot. I love Terminator. I love 1, 2. I enjoyed 3, particularly the video game for 3.
I've never.
Um,
Oh wait, no, I have seen 3. There was a video game. Oh, of course, there was a video game
Technically,
for
there
it.
was 2 video games for 3 that basically both did the plots of Terminator.
I feel that
I've
was.
technically played both of them.
Is it
Um,
me or are movies for video games going the way of the dodo? Because I remember like back in the 90s and the 2000s, like every time a movie came out, there was a video game tie-in. But these days, it's like not really the case.
there's not that many video game movies these days.
I wonder what's with that. Because as terrible as those games were, I'm pretty sure they made a lot of money.
Um, I think it's just because the price of making video games to level of quality has gone up,
I guess so.
and so it's become, and like generally a lot of video game movies have like bad stigmas to them.
Hmm.
Now, that's not to say that there aren't great video game movie tie-ins. Like the Dark Universe, the Mummy movie has one of the best video game movie tie-ins I've ever seen.
I've never seen that, but
It's the Mummy Demastered, and it's basically a 2D Castlevania game.
oh,
You don't even play as like the main character. It's literally just a 2D Castlevania type game, Metroidvania, I should say technically. And the cool caveat is if you die,
hmm
the previous generic soldier you were playing as is raised as an undead and has all of your cool items.
oh, so it.
So if you want to get all the cool items back, you have to go hunt down your previous self and kill your zombified corpse.
Oh, that is awesome. It kind of reminds me of shoot, one of those Dark Soulish type games. Was it? Wait, hang on. No, kind of reminds me of Shovel Knight, like where you die, you drop all your stuff, and depending
Yeah,
where you die, it can be really awkward to get your stuff back.
yeah. And like so, the main gimmick is basically when you're generic soldiers. So when one dies, you have to go and hunt down and kill your undead version who has all of your old equipment.
I love that
So it can
idea.
be pretty hard. Unfortunately, I'm very good at the game, so that didn't really happen too much.
hmm
But it's a cool gimmick nonetheless, and I really enjoy it. It's just a really solid Metroidvania.
That kind of sounds cool.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so if I have to say character or mechanic or whatever I stole, shamelessly stole from somewhere else, it would have to be the time I literally played Asian Forrest Gump. You know, Senlin
Suddenly
Gun.
gone.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, literally Forrest Gump for all intents and purposes. Like, he was dumb as bricks, but he just never gave up because he was too dumb to give up, essentially. A lot of people took advantage of him, but he made a lot of good, like, lifelong friends along the way. And it worked out, for all intents and purposes, quite well, I think, for him. Yeah, no, sometimes just playing a famous movie character, like, copied wise, can be fun. But I feel like you can't take it too seriously. Anyway, Sai, how about we move on to Death Vice? I believe we've already mechanically figured him out and such like that. Do we
Yeah.
want to give him any loot by any chance, or any other like gimmicks to the fight with him? Because looks like we gave whatchamacallit a little gimmick where if the party was more powerful because they had lots of magical items,
Yeah.
they wouldn't get a surprise attack, which I kind of really liked. I'm pretty proud of that one, that little
Hmm.
gimmick. Um,
So if we were to think about giving this guy loot,
mhm.
then I think we should consider maybe giving him something generic based upon the creatures he would have killed.
Yeah,
Theoretically, he's killed a Triton or two, so there might be like a Trident.
don't you mean Suagan?
Sorry, I meant Sahagin.
You are getting those two mixed up, I think.
Well, because I was going to say Trident.
Oh, Trident. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, as in, like, a lot of Sahagins use Tridents as weapons.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
The basic ones we have for, like, the basic general one just use a spear. But I do see a lot of Suhagans using like tridents as a weapon.
Maybe not try. Oh, okay. So
I
maybe
mean,
in terms of
considering
like,
yeah, considering the generic ones we have use spears, it would make sense for there to be like a spear or two here.
sure, sure, sure.
And I would even consider to hint that there may or may not be bandits on this island.
Oh yeah,
Maybe something that would very obviously belong to a bandit.
yeah, yeah. No, okay. I like that idea. Um, so the corpses, obviously.
Yeah.
So bandit, Sawagan. Do we want to give the players a magical item here or something?
Um, I feel like the death device, like it makes sense for there to potentially be a magical item here
Mm-hmm.
because that would be potentially how it found it killed its prey.
Mm-mm-mm.
But I also feel like we don't want to give out too many magic items at like a regular pace.
So maybe something, a unique item that could later turn into a magical. Wait, wait, wait. I'm an idiot. I'm gonna bring up a table. Uh, Owl's potions for sale. How did we forget about this? Potions from crafting. Do you have Owl's potions for sale?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so material slash cost. Um, so in the quest, I'm gonna mention uh, upon death, the players can find the following in the immediate area on a successful perception checks uh, on a on a on the following perception checks. So hang on, I've also got the Slate Town quests opened up. So
Yep.
let's say DC 5 perception. So this one will be a super easy one, and this is the where it leads into Owl's potions. They will find. Actually, does the monster manual say anything about Chul's like what do you call them? Chul's loot box, loot table, or anything like that?
Uh, loot, like for monsters, is more of a new thing for like uh the newest version of 5e 24.
In that case,
Nothing really.
so occasionally whales will like have like this fat thingy inside them that they throw
Mhm.
up and vomit up. And if I remember correctly, it's super valuable because it can be used like for soaps and like a lot of different materials. Like one brick of it
Yep.
is like pretty much worth its weight in gold. And I'm wondering if like the
Well,
chul
the Chul has like a
can.
paralysis venom on its tentacles.
Oh,
Because yeah, its tentacle attack, like basically its tentacle can just reach out to something grappled by it. And they must make a DC 13 con save or be poisoned for a minute.
in that
And while
case,
they're poisoned, they're paralyzed.
all right. I'll say DC 0 perception. Okay, wait. Actually, if the players roll a natural 1, the following occurs. The tentacles look shiny and potentially valuable. The player goes to touch it and immediately must make a what's the
DC
saving
13.
DC 13 con saving throw or be paralyzed. There is enough. What is it? A poison or venom? Did you say?
Um, I mean, D&D doesn't really differentiate, but it's not like it's not
We'll just say
Uh,
poison for now. There's enough
yeah,
poison.
it's not based on damage. It's just touching it.
Okay.
So I guess technically it's I believe it's like a venom's injected into you. A poison is something that
You
uh,
ingest.
yeah.
So what would this be considered?
I think it's because it's touch based. It's considered a poison.
Open character sheet. Shouldn't it say like it's tentacles?
Well,
Must he?
yeah,
Yeah, we'll call it a poison.
yeah. It's just simpler to call it a poison. Technically, D&D doesn't use the term venom. They just use poison. So yes, just using the term poison is probably for the best.
There we go. Alright, I think this is funny. If the player rolls a natural 1, the following occurs. The tentacles look shiny and potentially valuable. The player goes to touch it and immediately must make a DC 13 con saving throw or be paralyzed. There is enough poison coating the tentacles in the player's hand to create 2 doses of poison. Which I think would be funny. But also, so Death Vice, the claw, their left claw seems sturdier and coated in a rocky coral like substance. It looks valuable. Okay, so the potions for crafting, Death Vice's claw. And I don't want to attach a we can attach a cost to this.
But it's like a low cost no matter what.
Yeah, let's say 10 GP.
And
I want to make it something really, really interesting. Potion of permanent poison resistance. What do you think?
Giving out a permanent poison resistance might be a bit crazy.
I do want to make something permanent, like it's essentially a magic item that you can't take off.
Then maybe rather than like Owl being like this is a potion, it's like no, this is something that would be useful for an actual magical item.
Oh, okay. So Owl would look into it and says, "I can't do anything with this, but you can make it something else." I kind of
Yeah.
want to make. I still want to make Owl like the go-to person the players come back to. Like we can create like a blacksmith character, but I want them to keep going back to him for all the. Yeah.
Well, what could be cool is like, so for example, I'd be like, okay, rather than it being like a potion, I would give them a ring of poison resistance, which gives you permanent resistance to poison damage while you wear the ring, and you are attuned to it.
Oh,
What
okay.
if Al's like, hey, like I specialize in potions,
But I can still make other things.
like, and like rather than making like a potion, he makes like a finishing oil to help
Oh,
basically help finish off the actual ring.
so maybe make it 100 gold coins. So it'll be okay. Ring of poison. If it's something that takes what do you call it?
An attunement slot.
Attunement slot. Do we want to make it a ring of poison immunity? Wait, hang on. Is there
Well,
an item that does that already?
Uh, immunity, not really,
Okay.
but like permanent poison resistance is pretty good because there's a lot of creatures that actually do poison damage.
Hmm.
And poison is often some of the biggest sources of damage in the game. So having permanent resistance to poison is a huge boon.
Okay. So the oil is the finishing coat for the ring. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Ring of poison immunity.
Because like in the potion section, there's not just potions, there's a couple of oils, like
That's
the oil of
true.
slipperiness. oil of sharpness and oil of etherealness, and just thinking of it as like, yeah, it's like the final coating, like the final varnish on the ring to finish it off.
Okay.
We've probably like make Al mention like, hey, it's like the cost is low because the amount here is enough for several coats of oil, which I can use to finish a couple of other rings in time.
Or make for other things.
Yeah. So he's getting plenty out of it, and you getting the one ring out of it is like a pretty good return.
Ring is cheap than most other magic items, since the claw is large enough to create multiple doses of this oil. Okay, I like that little flavor. So
Yeah.
it's not things immediately useful. Okay, so DC 10 perception. The corpses left behind also contain the following. So let's say two throwing spears. Wait, no, 2 spears.
Yes. You can throw spears anyway, so don't worry.
1 trident. What else do we want to give them?
Well, let's have a look at like some of our bandits.
Oh, this is still the because with the bandit, I want to do something very specific. Okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's enough. Like 2 spears and a trident.
Okay.
It's enough to be like, okay, yeah, there's definitely because there's already several spears embedded in the Death Vice's side that probably aren't usable.
Yeah. All right, and say DC 15. This is where the bandit thing comes from. Perception. A severed leg, almost pulped into an unrecognizable mess of flesh, except for a tattoo in the shape of a chain. There we go.
Cool.
So at first, like, they're like, oh, it's just part of the stuff that the Death Vice has, killed and destroyed. But then they take a closer look and it's like, hang on, is that what we think it is? That style of thing? Because I imagine Death Vice like smashes like the corpses up enough that you wouldn't even tell if it's Sawagin or human or elf or whatnot. That's my like little headcanon there. Ooh, I do like Death Vice more and more. Like, he's
a cool looking monster. We've given him a name, given him that little bit of personality.
Breathe air and water, sense magic, multi-attack. Yeah, he's a tough customer.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what? I do want to give him one more mechanic, and I'm gonna edit his thingy directly. So it's gonna be a trait. Okay, so how do I... Oh, I see. Alright. I'm gonna type it in, and I just want to make sure like your reaction is genuine, because I really like the idea.
Okay, I'll close my eyes.
I mean, you can't...
Tell me.
I don't think you can see it, because I'm directly editing the character sheet.
I mean, yes, that's true as well, but I will also close my eyes for dramatic effect. So I have the sheet open.
Yep,
I know once you're done.
Okay. So I'm going to put that in bold.
Can't see what you're doing. Like, that's something that's a little annoying sometimes. If you got like 2 DMs trying to do things with one character sheet, is that it doesn't show you what the other persons are doing. And if you move a tab, it moves everyone. It's not perfect, but it does do a good enough job. How much are you writing?
It's not too much. I'm only under the second line.
Okay. Because now I'm getting curious. You're writing there's a decent bit of time.
And save changes.
Okay.
And wait, hang on. Why isn't it showing in traits? Is it because for some reason it's not showing up in the character sheet?
Where'd you put it?
In the traits.
Just like with amphibious and sense magic?
Why isn't it? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to copy paste. I see what I've done wrong. So I'm going to copy it there. Yes, no, it should be there. But it's not for some reason. Here we go.
Ooh.
And
done. Okay. 18. You
want to change it? You don't mind that?
I think maybe change it to 19 rather than just 18.
I did think 18 was a little high, but I want to give the players if one of them happens to roll this number, you can tell them oh, it's a critical hit, and they're like, what? And then describe how their attack smacked into one of the spears or the already exposed cracks in its armor and such.
But battle damaged could be a good little campaign gimmick we could use.
Oh,
other potential powerful creatures that have been battle damaged in order to help balance them a bit, where it's you can crit them easier because of the fact that they've lost parts of their armor and such.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we'll bring this keyword back. So we'll re-flavor it, but it will always have the last line of, as such, whenever a player rolls a 19 or higher on attack, it is considered a critical hit.
That's cool, because with battle damaged, it now makes me think, okay, I can go and look at potentially more powerful creatures than I would normally use, and then I can tweak them, maybe take off a point of armor class or something somewhere, add battle damaged, and we got a cool fight now because of it.
I mean, if we really want to make it easier, for whatever reason, let's just say it's a solo campaign. So in the Slate Town quest area, when I'm talking about this creature's a tool and its HP is reduced by 20 when the party finds it, yada yada. I'm also going to put a little extra bit. If a single player fights it, the tool is found missing a pincer. So it loses an attack essentially.
Yep.
Honestly, I think we're over tweaking the mechanics just a bit, but I do not mind.
You are going a little crazy on this guy, but I think that's to show that you just like the idea behind the Death Vice.
Yeah, just bosses essentially having battle damage before you run into them. I just love that idea. So the Death Vice is scary, but it's not like the Sahuagin have done nothing essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, with Death Vice being defeated,
Blech. Yep, Death Vice is defeated. Yep.
We can go back to the Sahuagin guards and get access to below. Now, as excited I am to just go below and do all that, I think it would be remiss of me not to bring up something I mentioned last session as well.
Oh,
is that because this is a 2-level adventure, we are going to potentially want to have a little bit of structure here for our plan.
Okay. So I like the idea of them getting access to Castronopolis, and essentially
Yeah.
it's a big, like, I do want to make a dungeon of it, like of the
Hmm.
quote unquote town, as it were, so that when
Yeah.
it gets like attacked or invaded or something like that, players can like run to all these familiar areas that they were in before. Um,
Yeah.
but first of
Because
all, yeah.
I think what we should do first off is, I guess, establish potential enemies that we're going to have to deal with down here.
Okay.
Because, like, first off, the Sahagin are potentially going to be threats. They could be
Mm-hmm.
allies. They could be threats. That's like they're a bit more on the neutral terms.
You know what I want to do? And
Hmm?
I want to make a civil war, like a little plot with them. So
I like the idea behind this.
so the idea is that the Sahuagin, there's like two camps, and they haven't come to blows yet. But the idea is you got the isolationists and the ones who want to like trade with the humans, not necessarily befriend the humans, but at least trade with them. And I like to think that the priestess is in that camp. Hence why she's trying to like, oh, I have foresaw like these humans coming because like they're
Hmm.
friendly and stuff like that. They can be proof that while we don't have to get along with them, they can at least be civil enough and not hurt us, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And like it's like, look, they've already killed the Death Vice as trade for access to Castronopolis. This can work, and the rest are like, the more isolationists will be like, no, send them back out. This is a trick. How do we actually know Death Vice is dead? And all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. No, that could be good. I like the idea of like a Sahagin, like civil war, maybe a bit strong at the moment, but like tensions.
Yeah, tension. Opposing camps. Alright, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna write that down in the quests. Um,
Yeah. Because what we're also going to want to do is we are going to want to add the bandits,
oh yeah, we definitely want to add the bandits of
and
eventually.
I think we should add maybe not like a full amount, but add a devil or two here.
Yes. Are there any aquatic devils?
Um, any devils that swim?
I'll tell you what, you look through
Uh,
that and I'll type in uh I'll start typing about the players approaching Castronopolis. So upon coming back to the cave entrance, the players can announce they've defeated Death Vice and can provide the claw as proof. Oh, wait, hang on. I'm gonna have to fix that actually. Maybe make that a DC 0 perception check. Okay. The god that gave them the quest thanks them and fills the players in on the political climate of Castronopolis. Castronopolis. Always gonna pronounce it that way. There are two camps of. I can never spell it right. Schwagen. Swagen. Swagens. Swagens. The isolationists who want nothing to do with anything outside the island. And then the traders who at least want to profit off the mainlanders. The Priestess is one such Sargon, and the leader of this movement. Alrighty. Have you found any devils about that? Because otherwise we can always just use imps, can't we?
So that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Looking through it, there are no devils that can naturally swim that I could find.
I assume like there's magical ways to make yourself swim, but that
Yeah.
I don't really.
So then I started to look at the imp. The imp can normally shapeshift into a rat, a raven, a fly, or a spider.
Yeah.
A rat, a raven, or a spider.
Sure.
And interesting to note is that its speeds of movement does actually change.
Oh.
And it does gain a climb speed as a spider.
Okay.
So I could imagine a special kind of imp that could turn into like a fish or something.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, raven, like mechanically speaking, isn't much different from a seagull either. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, the idea of like a couple of special imps designed for underwater being summoned into the situation.
Hang on, I wanna look up seagulls as a token.
We already have the giant seagull.
Yeah, I know we have the giant one, but I just want like normal seagulls. Hang on. Oh my god, there's so many different seagulls, but there's no proper seagull token. Yeah, that kind of looks really out of place. As much as I like it.
Yeah, and the other one I could see potentially doing underwater stuff is because of a side tangent that I think could be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So the imps turning into a fish, a little bit of a stretch, not too bad.
Sure.
The other one that I think could be cool is the Maragon or Legion Devil.
Oh. What's his deal?
So the Legion Devil is basically fallen soldiers, mercenaries, bodyguards who end up in the Hells become baseless foot soldiers.
Yeah.
And each Maragon has a metal mask bolted to their head.
Oh, I know these guys. Yeah, I remember seeing them in what do you call it? Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah.
There's some in Baldur's Gate 3. Considering that they have like metal faceplates bolted to them, I could imagine special variant of them which have like rebreathers.
Oh.
Kind of like a diving helmet type situation.
Sure.
Just getting some
like ideas
Heretic
and
Legion,
stuff like that.
some Heretic Legion naval fleet vibes. Just the devil, because like each legion has its own kind of identity, and just the idea that one of the devils is like, hey, I want just a couple of my legions to serve as underwater forces, so they get special helmets just for that.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Shoot, I'm just trying to figure out where all the document stuff is. So, Phoenix Feather. Yep, that's still what we're trying to go for.
The aim is the Phoenix Feather. The assumption is that the Sahagins have it. Yeah. Whether the Priestess has it,
or she knows where it is. Yeah.
Or she knows where it is.
I don't want too many twists here for these characters, but I do like the tension and stuff like that.
I like the idea that the Priestess knows where it is, and is willing to offer its location if we can stabilize the area, like deal with the bandits and the potential other things.
Yeah, convince the isolationists that not all humans are bad.
bad. Yeah, and that might mean having to deal with the bandits in the area. And then the finale is like, okay, here is the location of the Phoenix Feather. It's dangerous, though. I wish you luck.
Mm-mm-mm. Oh, I have an idea for that one, but
Yeah.
we'll start with the
Yeah.
we'll start with the bandits first slash pirates. So at the moment, what we have 4 bandits, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we have 4 bandits, or 4 bandit leaders, I guess we should say.
Yeah, yeah. Let me just triple check them, because only one of them's really water based, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the only one that's water based is technically Vodos,
Yeah.
the Unsung. Um, and like the natural thought is immediately just use Vodos for everything because this is water based.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't. We shouldn't just be like Vodos is 100% everything, particularly when Vodos is the one who's the most solo act of the all.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He has allies, but he is the most solo act.
Do
Now,
we want to make these guys? I kind of like the idea of that these specific bandits are more actually pirates, and they have nothing to do with the chain gang specifically, except for the chain gang and like the devils trying to recruit them, maybe,
uh,
or at least manipulate them. Like they're pirates, so they don't really have much reason not to do piratey things already. So maybe,
however,
uh-huh.
we were going to use the bandit's presence to help show the secret tunnel back.
Yeah. I still want to do that for sure. So maybe the father's bandits are there.
Like, yeah, no, a good middle ground would be like most of the bandits are like pirates and stuff. They are being like hired by the father's men
Mm,
as like a task force that's easier to throw away if
yeah.
things go bad.
Mm.
And so they're not directly chain gang, but there's a couple of chain gang members of the father's clergy.
Oh, I just realized what we could do to make things even more complicated.
Mm.
The priestess could, like, it's like, hey, we have more mainlanders helping us. See, these extra ones took out Death Vice, and then the players would latch on to like, what do you mean extra? It's like these other mainlanders came and already helped us with supplies, and then you see members of the chain gang.
Oh,
Yeah.
because I was thinking like we would do something with, say, the the bands on the other side, but mm, doing it as if they're on your side already, that would make things more complicated.
And I like the idea that this is like the father's men and they specialize in like more manipulation tactics. So they're
Yeah,
essentially pitting like multiple sides against each other. Like their mere
yeah,
presence already infuriates the isolationist and they're coordinating with the pirates. So they're like it's a double threat for them. But then they see the players and they're like, what the hell are they doing here? Sort of thing.
yeah. I like the idea of like, because like I want each type of bandit to specialize in its own thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the bandit wizard is spellcasters, magic, that type of stuff.
Mm.
Wolf probably going to be like the berserkers, the tough tanky boys,
Mm-hmm.
big thugs, and it's like Father Giovanni's bandits are the more like cunning, manipulative ones.
Cat's paws. They make use of cat's paws and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I love this. All right, so I'm gonna put that in Slate Town quests. Priestess is one such wagon, leader of the movement. They will then take the players down a path into the cave, down a tunnel to meet the priestess, whom is holding a rally with what's the word? Sympathetic.
Yeah.
Sympathetic Sahagins. Upon noticing Oh wait, no, I don't want her to hold a rally yet.
A rally might be like too big of a thing at this point in time.
Mm-mm. Okay, they
Maybe just like a meeting with some people.
may include in a meeting when the players enter, they notice several Sahagin and 2 robed men. Not even robed. How do you think these guys would look?
Uh, I think being robed would be bad for them. Um, so I'm trying to imagine, like, I maybe not robed, but like, or should you say like they have like cloaks, but with
Two.
their hoods down?
That's what. Cloaked men. Alright, and I'll have 2 perception checks.
Mm-hmm.
Perception check DC, let's say 10. The 2 cloaked men wear silver and gold. So like,
And I can immediately think of a stat block that's perfect for them.
Perception. Oh, hang on, not check. So like they. All right, so DC 15.
Mm-hmm.
The jewelry is all in the shape of chains, even if they themselves aren't. So that would be like their connection if they get high enough DC checks. Okay, so I want the men to be friendly. Everyone greets the party, and the leading guard explains how they killed Death Vice. The Priestess is thrilled that there are more humans that have proven themselves to be peaceful and helpful. The 2 cloaked humans introduce themselves as merchants working for the... Actually, we'll just say they're wearing silver, not gold. For the Silver Chain Trading Company. If players accuse them of being part of the chain gang, they will deny it and thank the players for fighting. Wait, deny it and disparage the chain gang for, what's the word? For sullying their name. There's a better way of putting it.
Yeah.
For sullying their name with such a similar naming convention.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like their covers. Like, of course we're not part of the change gang. We don't even want to be associated with them. But you know what? Thank you for fighting them. That sort of thing. While also being part of this chain gang. So, you know what? I think that's enough for now. I think we can end it here for now. What do you think?
Yeah, making good progress. We've got a situation. We've got a kind of game plan for where we want to go from this point. Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
this is a good start.
Excellent. All right. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Please comment, like, and subscribe, all that stuff. And until next time, bye-bye.
Ciao.